What's going on, guys? It's Elias. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today I wanted to give you guys an update on what's going on with my Civic Type R. In the last Civic Type R video, the rebuild video, we took the Type R and a whole bunch of parts that we got from Canada. We loaded it up to my trailer that I also got from Atlanta. These are all videos that I've uploaded, by the way. In case you guys missed it, go ahead and search my channel. I'll put some links in the description in case you guys have missed those. But I got everything together and I took the whole car and the trailer and everything down to B&H Auto Shop in New Jersey, and I wanted to make sure that it could first be fixed before we went ahead and fixed it. So I told the guys, hey, take a look at it, make sure it's all good, make sure that it's actually fixable before we try to do anything crazy. You know, I'm still not at the point of no return. I have a whole bunch of parts, but I don't necessarily have to use them to fix the car if the car is unfixable. Well, I've since been able to get an update, and actually the update is quite good. So let's go ahead and get into it. So to recap here, I wanted to show you guys the damage again. Now, if you guys remember on previous videos, I've shown you this, but if you take a look here, most of the damage was actually concentrated on the driver's footwell. Not only did the driver's footwell take quite the impact, but the suspension on the driver's side, the front driver's side, took quite the hit. So the wheel and the brakes and everything, that took quite the hit. I was able to source all the parts from Canada. You guys saw that video. And I am able to put everything together and take it to the body shop. Now, I wanted to ask them to make sure that this was fixable, because I was afraid that they would be able to go and see this and see the carnage of where the wheel impacted the wheel well and see that, you know, maybe this wasn't worth it. So I took it over to them and, you know, I showed them all the videos, all the pictures and everything, and they said, yeah, it looks fixable. They got their hands on it, and luckily they told me that the frame, the actual frame, and the engine, the intercooler, all the integral parts of the front of the car were basically untouched. So all they needed to do was fix the windshield, fix the door, fix the driver's footwell, throw some paint on there, and they should probably be all set. Now, of course, it sounds easier than it is. It is quite a job to make sure that everything goes back to factory settings. Luckily, this shop had laser guided frame machines. Now, what this means is that they use lasers to measure out all of the hard points on the car, from the frame rail to where the bumper goes, to where the lights goes, to where the wheel fender is supposed to be, the shock mounts, everything that can be measured is measured, and they use laser machines to measure that. And then they go ahead and use the pulling machines to make sure that they pull everything in the right direction and everything is pulled correctly. Luckily, everything except for the driver's footwell was pretty much left intact, and all of the measurements were also left intact. Nothing was pushed in, nothing was badly injured, nothing was badly deformed to the point of no return. This was extremely fortunate because, as you guys know, I'm quite attached to my car, badge number 177. I want to get it back out there. I want to convert it into a full-on race car, and I could only do that if it can drive straight again. They reassured me that it can, and they reassured me it really wasn't going to be a big deal to fix it. Now, you guys might think that's crazy, but these guys are professionals. They do this day in and day out. I see the work that they've done. They do a really good job of all the cars they take on. So let's go ahead and see what they've done so far to the Type R. So after taking all of the measurements and after careful inspection, they installed the suspension and the spare wheel, as well as the caliper and everything else that I had extra for the Type R. As you can see here, I was not able to do any filming, unfortunately. The shop is about 2 hours away from me, but at least they were able to send me some pictures, and this was a really good day, a really good sign. They told me they drove it around the block just to see how it drove, and they told me that it drove beautifully. What do you guys think of this progress? I think it's great. So as an example of what's going to be happening next to my Civic Type R, let's go ahead and take a look at V-Tuned Garage's YouTube video here. He's rebuilding a S2000, a yellow S2000, and it's basically exactly what's going to happen to my Type R. He's looking at the frame, he's looking at what's bent, he's putting on some clamps, and he's going to start making sure that the frame is bent back to exactly where it's supposed to be. Now, if you haven't watched V-Tune's Garage videos, I mean, he's an awesome YouTuber. He works with the Goon Squad as well, which is another good channel to watch. But here you can see him pulling with the frame machine, pulling the frame, making sure everything's going where it's supposed to. And it's exactly what's going to be happening to the Type R. Now this video is actually a technical video from a college or an apprentice shop that shows people how to straighten out frames and things like that. And it's more examples of how people use lasers and they use frame machines to make sure that everything is done correctly and pulled correctly on cars that have had significant or even minor impacts. In my case, most of the pulling or almost all of the pulling is going to be done at the driver's footwell. That's where the impact happens, and so they're going to be welding up something that looks like this, attach chains to it. They're going to start hammering things down. As you see here, this guy hammering on a frame. As the machine pulls, it gets hammered out and measurements are taken, and you keep on hammering out. So in addition to making sure that everything is straight on the frame, they also have to keep putting on and taking off and putting on all of the OEM parts that I got for them to make sure that the fitment is exactly right. And that's actually one of the most time-consuming parts of putting the car back to where it should be, back to OEM specs, is to make sure that all of the parts line up exactly right and that the panel gaps are not worse than they were from the factory. Now, lucky for the body shop, from the factory, from the England factory, the body panels, the panel gaps are actually not that great on the Civic Type R. Not that that matters and not that I care. It's kind of a joke. But yeah, not a big deal. And so let's take a look now at where the car sits currently. And after all the frame and everything else, let me know what you guys think. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the update. I am sure excited to share with you guys the finished product as soon as we can. It's going to be a wild year. 2020 is going to be the year where I build the Type R into the race car it was always meant to be. Full roll cage, bunch of modifications, bolt-on seat, you know, all the engine modifications, custom tune, all that is kind of going to be coming up ahead. So if you want to get in on the action, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Let me know in the comments what you think of this video and what you think of future videos. If you have any comments or suggestions, please let me know. Alright guys, I'll catch you next time. Peace out.